Welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, Welcome to the Pi Talk Podcast Productions channel. And as you know from watching, I'm Coach B, and today we're doing something a little bit different. Um, my daughter, Aries Sameel, has expressed interest in podcasting and doing some of the things that I do essentially. And also, she's interested in sharing her little 10 years of experience and knowledge. And so we're trying it out, right? And some of the conversations that we have are around emotional regulation, having a dad that does, you know, um, pie talk and training and emotional regulation and all these things. It's not uncommon that we have conversations about the amygdala and the lizard brain and different ways to talk about managing our emotions and communicating in and outside of the home. And so we were talking and we came up with, one of the things that's not taught necessarily in schools, especially at, younger ages, is emotional intelligence. And because my daughter has me as a dad an experience with some of those concepts. She's interested in exploring that in a podcast. So this is Heart Smart with Aries Sameel, and I'm the guest, Coach B, co-host. And so, Aries, tell us a little bit about yourself. How old are you?
I'm 10 years old. I have, well, at school we were just learning about anxiety and so and emotional stuff so we could get through it at school because some people at school have what people know as anger issues, is like when you get mad and stuff. And we were just learning about that stuff. And I think it was pretty cool. And I like art and I like my dad's work. I'm interested in his work, and I actually love coming to his work, and it's super fun for me. I get to do a lot of activities. I get to come to history events that he has, and they are very interesting and really fun for me. I love his new books. I'm still reading his first one, and I can't wait to read his next one.
Yeah, but we're not going to talk about my books today.
Hmm.
We're here to talk about, your understanding and your interest in sharing how kids your age, you're 10 years old, tell the people what grade you're in.
Fifth grade.
And so in fifth grade, there's a lot of drama, there's a lot of, ups and downs with your friends, and a lot of that can be alleviated if you're handling yourself and your emotions correctly. So that's what we say when we're heart smart. That means we're not reacting out of anger and ruining friendships and having to apologize. We're communicating assertively and we're standing on our truth and we're able to keep our lizard brain locked in a cage for the most part. So tell them about that and how we had that conversation about the lizard brain and how it's helped you think about it.
Well, when my dad first showed me what lizard brain was and was telling me about it, I started being able to handle my situations with my friends about drama at school. And before that, before he taught me all that stuff, I used to have a lot of drama and ups and downs with friendships. And I'm very thankful for my dad, Coach B, helping me with my emotional stuff. And now I don't use my anger like that anymore. And I'm happy and I feel better and I feel more relieved. And that my brain just tells me what my dad told me whenever I get mad at my brother or when my mom does something that makes me a little uneasy. I just tell myself, listen to what your dad's word were. You need to keep your brain in or it's going to make it worse. And that lizard brain, you can't let it out because when it's unleashed, you get like crazy, and it makes everything worse than it already is.
I wouldn't say it makes you crazy,
Well, for me,
but
sometimes.
it what we're talking about is when you're able to wait until you're calm before you have conversations. Our rule about you talking to me is when you're calm and when you've decided that you have control over your lizard that sometimes can jump in the driver's seat and make you yell or slam a door or scream or say, I hate this.
Or slam the brake and like get a little
Or,
uncontrolled.
right? So when you're talking about your heart smarts, what does that look like when you're in school and the teacher says something that you disagree with? What process do you use to not get in trouble? Because you don't ever get in trouble at school, so that means you have tools that you're
Except for
using.
once, I did get in trouble in the third grade for talking back to the not the vice principal, but the desk lady at school when you came to pick us up early because because mom had to get to work, and we and the desk lady was not very nice to Achilles, and he was in kindergarten at the time, so he didn't know better, and he like did something like wasn't sitting down like she asked us, and it like pushed my buttons because like my instincts were I need to protect my brother so he doesn't go through a certain phase that not every kid should go through, that emotional thing. And sometimes he would break down or start getting mad, so I did what I my brain told me to do, and I yelled back at her and had myself a conversation with the principal before dad came back. So that was the one time I got in trouble. And what it looks like at school right now for me in the fifth grade in my class is the teacher. She's very nice. She's one of the nicest teachers I've had. She, there's not really a time she's made me mad except for like when she like talks back, like when we're right, and then she tells us to be quiet or gets mad and stops her lesson because of one person and then starts saying it's the whole class's fault. It gets me easy. Like I get that feeling where I'm just like I disagree with you and I'm about to yell because she just needs to have a private talk with that student, not take it out on the class is one of my main things. And it was that having private talks with her make nobody they just all get back to the work once, but it's embarrassing for the people who get in trouble or being distracted because our teacher, instead of having a private talk like she should, it's more embarrassing for that person because she says it to the whole class and makes a joke of it, and it pushes my buttons because sometimes it could be a friend of mine. I'm like, that's not how you should treat people. You should instead just ask them to come to you once you tell everybody what the instructions are, and then you can talk to that person alone. But one of the strategies I use to not get mad at my teacher is I have this cross necklace, and when I get like out of hand this necklace, it just means a lot by me for me because I am a believer. I believe God and all that historic stuff. So when I get mad or upset and I'm about to have a breakdown in the classroom, I use one of the strategies like the finger things, like I go up and down, and use my deep and breaths while I do that. Like, and it helps me out in class. And a lot of kids use it in my class actually. Like one of my friend
Did
had
they
her.
teach that at school?
They actually do teach a bunch of stuff. We were just learning about anxiety last week, and I did my fair share of what happened with my anxiety and stuff. So, a thing for me is most kids would have a stuffed animal to help them. Because in fourth grade, a lot of people were allowed to bring stuffed animals because we had a lot of crying and drama in fourth grade. So, a lot of people brought stuffies or something that really was value to them that made them calm down. For me, it was like one of my stuffed animals that was truly a lot to me by one of my elders, like my grandma or my grandpa. And like my grandpa, daddy, your dad, um, he means a lot to me and stuff. And any gift he gives to me, I that will probably be the one thing that calms me down when, and I'll bring it everywhere if it's something small, good enough, or appropriate enough to bring to school. And
So what you're saying is one of the strategies that you've witnessed be useful in your grade is like sentimental items.
mhm.
Speaking of, tell people about this thing right here. What is this about?
Okay, so this is my cheer stick. I have a thing for cheer and I love it. It's one thing, and one drama thing almost made me stop doing it, but I said no, I'm gonna keep doing this. I won't let my emotions and my thoughts get to me. So I worked extra hard. This was in May, the start of fourth grade, the 2023 to 2024 class. And it was right at cheer my mom told me to not give up. And it was coming to the end of cheer. Some girls would not get. This is called a spirit stick. It keeps your spirits high. If you ever drop it on the floor, then it loses all its spirit and the team has bad luck. And I thought, wow, that's what's going to keep my spirit going if everybody gets that. So I had it and I was.
So is it awarded for like hardest worker? How
Mhm.
did you get the spirit stick?
How I got the spirit stick. So actually, you get the spirit stick by doing good hard work, like my dad said, like hard work and leadership and sportsmanship and how like hard you show you can do it and you prove you can do it. I didn't get this till the end of the year where it was one of the most valuable spirit stick out of the whole year is the dance competition. So I was the one who won it, and ever since then, I was just so happy. And it came to a point where my brother dropped it, Achilles dropped it, and I got so scared for the team. I told the coaches, I was just like, so my brother dropped it, but then the coaches told me that it's okay that the cheer stick doesn't lose all its spirit unless I lose my spirit because of that. And that's what kept me going.
So the spirit stick, even though it's a spirit stick, it's actually fueled by your spirit.
Mhm.
So it's like a gift that is a give and
Like it
receive. You
if
give the spirit stick spirit so that it keeps the spirit.
in the
So if
team
it drops
alive.
on the floor, your spirit can refuse it, right?
Mhm.
Not refuse it, but like
That's what
replenish it.
yeah, it like reputs the spirit back into it. And if I drop it if I drop it 3 times on the floor, then that's when the spirit stick loses all its spirit. And I can't put my and it's like but I don't usually I'm a believer, but I don't believe that it won't give this take the spirit out of my cheer squad because
That's yours.
and it's not anybody else's. If you gave it to me, then how is it affecting anybody else? I just won't tell anybody that that happened, and it's not gonna really be a thing. But people just say if you did because it could easily break if you drop it too hard on the floor. So which is why they probably made that spirit thing up.
So at the end of the day, it's just pretty important to you.
It just like helps me
It
think
represents something.
represents the how important cheer is to me and how I'm happy with cheer. It like represents to me whenever I see it or hold it, just a wave of happiness and expression gives to me like, oh my, I'm so thankful for all my friends. Because if it weren't for them, I wouldn't have got myself to this. They're the reason why I'm in cheer. They told me about it and they begged me to join, and that's how this whole cheer thing started. And I'm really thankful for them.
So if you're going to teach kids your age, or maybe even a little bit older, because anybody can learn from anybody. I just learned something about that hand thing today. I didn't know about that. That's pretty cool. How would you explain being heart smart to your peers?
Heart smart. Heart smart. So, heart smart. if I'm saying to you guys on advice about heart smart, it's your emotional intelligence. It's like how you control yourself and not how you let someone else take the how you let someone else take your driving car, because there goes the stutter. But if I'm putting it this way, then your emotional intelligence is where you have to control it yourself. Don't let someone else steer your car. You have to still steer your own car. You can't let someone else take control of that. And by that, you have to control yourself. So if you were getting mad about something and you're about to leash out and let it all out and yell at somebody, think, what did they do that caused this to you? No, they didn't do anything. It's just something that's been on your mind. Because sometimes for me, if something's on your mind and it leads on to where you think about it way too much and your brain is telling you you need to yell at someone for it or someone needs to be punished for it, don't let someone control you. Don't let people get to your emotional intelligence, your brain smart, and let them say talk bad about you. For instance, like people say, oh, you don't look good today. Like, I'll just say, "Oh, I take that as a compliment," because I know I looked at myself in the mirror and said, "My emotional intelligence told me how good I look today." So I'm not listening to someone else and let them try to control my will and take it out on someone else, because someone else didn't cause my pain. It was the person who could have also been through some pain is a reason for that, and they let someone steer their wheel, and they slammed the brakes and they slammed the door and they got out of control and took it out on me. So, and I'm not going to do the same thing and just keep it going and going. Because if you do that, if you crumble a piece of paper, you can't put it back the way it was. Can't use a straightener, it'll just burnt it, and that'll make everything worse. So that is my thing. So use, if you have anything to you that makes you calm down or helps your lizard brain not leash out, I advise you to use it.
Yeah, sounds really good, Aries. I heard a lot of good stuff in there. I heard some stuff about the importance of not taking things personal. So, like when you're saying you look in the mirror and tell yourself you know you're a beautiful person and you're good inside, then that's the force field against anyone else telling you something different and trying to control your narrative. And then if you're good like that inside, it's not going to be so easy for you to match energy and lash out at somebody because you know it's not about you, it's
Yeah.
about them.
And I actually had this strategy that I kind of made myself, and my school counselor in third grade told me, or in second grade told me, that if I imagine a white bubble around me to field around me to make sure no one else can get in my force field, I imagine that there's a bubble around me, and then I would, if someone said something rude to me, I would imagine that their words hit the bubble and then just bounced back off right towards them. And they would, like, it wouldn't come towards me, it would go back to them. And I would just take on my day and not worry about it. Until then, I've had my force field. And many things have been said to me those past 3 years, and my force field broke. And when it broke in my imaginary brain, my force field didn't become white, it became black, and it wasn't good for me. And I felt like I need to rebuild my force field. So I gave compliments to people and I returned them back. And each day it made my force field gray, then it turned it a grayish white, and then it became white again. And now that's like my force field bubble. And whatever someone says mean to me, I just know I have my loyal friends to say something nice to return my bubble back.
Are you guys hearing this? I don't think a lot of people are going to understand the magnitude of the things that just came out of this 10-year-old's mouth, right? The ability to put that journey into words at that age. Now, if that's not being heart smart, I don't know what is. So we're gonna wrap it up. We said we're gonna do about 20 minutes. This is our pilot intro. Um, Moving forward, this will be Aries' show. So pay attention. Stay tuned for more Heart Smart with Aries Sameel and Coach B.
And this isn't just for those people who have anger issues. This is for the people who get compliments every day. No matter what, you're gonna receive hate from one person, at least a person. If you don't, then congratulations to you. That means you were nice to people too, and people adore you. And but at least everybody has a hater, and that hater can break your bubble, and you
If
need to
you
be
let them.
if you let them, and you need to control that bubble and just know that something will come your way. Some hater will come your way if you let them into your white bubble. And if you let them enter your force field bubble, then they will turn it pitch black, and then you'll be upset and take it out on someone. And you don't want to do that. You want to tell them, no, I won't listen to you. I looked myself in the mirror and said, I am beautiful. I am proud of myself. I know I can do this. I know I can have a great day.
This is that stuff. This is that stuff.
That everybody needs to hear.
You already know. So, we out.
Peace.